On October 4th, 2018, a couple in Ecatepec near Mexico City was arrested by the police while pushing a stroller around their neighborhood. Instead of a baby, the stroller contained a human torso and other human remains. The couple, identified as Juan Carlos Hernandez and Patricia Martinez, were suspected of being involved in the disappearances of multiple women in the area. This arrest marked the beginning of an extensive investigation that would uncover further crimes, including kidnapping, murder, and even cannibalism. These horrific acts earned Juan Carlos and Patricia the notorious nickname, the Monsters of Ecatepec. Ecatepec is a municipality located close to Mexico City and is one of the most densely populated areas in the region. Unfortunately, the area has experienced a rise in crime and violence, particularly against women. Local data indicates that between 2014 and 2017, nearly 9,000 women were murdered in Mexico, with over 1,000 of those cases occurring in Ecatepec. The story unfolds in one of the neighborhoods of Ecatepec where Juan Carlos Hernandez, born in 1985, had his upbringing. According to his own account, his childhood was marked by unhappiness. He endured the presence of his mother bringing different men home, some of whom abused him. At the age of 10, he suffered a severe head injury from falling down the stairs, leaving lasting effects on his life. Academically, Juan Carlos struggled and later faced difficulties in maintaining steady employment. He tried various jobs, including being a waiter, a trash collector, and a salesperson. He even briefly enlisted in the army but left after just a few months. In 2008, while frequenting a restaurant, he crossed paths with Patricia Martinez, who worked as a waitress there. Patricia, who was 5 years older than Juan Carlos, had a difficult life as well. Her family faced financial struggles, and she didn't perform well in school. Unfortunately, she experienced abuse from a family member when she was young, which affected her self-esteem and made her susceptible to manipulative individuals. Juan Carlos took advantage of this vulnerability. He falsely portrayed himself as a hitman for the local mafia, but despite the deception, Patricia fell in love with him and they started a relationship and eventually moved to Ecatepec, where they had 4 children together. To make ends meet, they resorted to selling various items like clothes, phones, food, and jewelry. Their neighbors perceived Juan Carlos and Patricia as an ordinary family, but beneath the surface, they harbored a horrifying secret. They had become serial killers, as they later confessed to the authorities. Their first victim, a 22-year-old woman, fell into their trap when they offered her a job as a housekeeper and invited her for an interview at their home. Once she arrived, Juan Carlos subjected her to abuse before beheading her. Meanwhile, Patricia, accompanied by their children, waited outside the house. However, disturbingly, Patricia eventually joined Juan Carlos in dismembering the victim's body. They even cooked a portion of the remains to feed their dogs and consumed some themselves. Afterwards, they disposed of the remaining body parts in an empty lot within their neighborhood. For 4 years, Juan Carlos and Patricia followed a disturbing routine. They would find local women through Facebook or on the streets, offering them clothes for their children or a new phone. Once inside her house, violence would ensue, always resulting in the same gruesome ending. The victims' bodies would be dismembered, with some remains given to their dogs or consumed by the couple. The last known victim, a 28-year-old woman, vanished in September 2018 along with her 2-month-old baby after Patricia had promised her baby clothes. However, upon arrival at her home, Juan Carlos awaited her. After their last killing, the couple took a disturbing turn by selling the victim's baby to another couple, who would later be apprehended. Approximately a month later, Patricia and Juan Carlos were finally arrested. The disappearance of the last victim provided a crucial lead for the police, linking it to a series of disappearances in the same neighborhood. By connecting the dots, investigators identified a common thread. They had all encountered a woman offering to sell them clothes. Through the last known location of the victim's phone, authorities narrowed down a suspicious address, the residence of a couple known for selling clothes. Juan Carlos Hernandez and Patricia Martinez were placed under surveillance for several weeks. Then, on October 4th, 2018, as they were pushing a stroller on the street, the police took decisive action and arrested them. Their suspicion was confirmed when they discovered human remains concealed under blankets and plastic bags in the stroller. Upon questioning, both Juan Carlos and Patricia confessed to the murders of multiple women. However, there was a discrepancy between Patricia and Juan Carlos regarding the number of their victims. Patricia claimed they have killed 10 women, while Juan Carlos admitted to a minimum of 20. The couple resorted to disposing of the bodies in an empty lot near their home, hoping that nature would take care of the remains. During the search of the lot, investigators discovered the remains of multiple women, identified through DNA evidence and clothing. Yet, it was their residence that revealed the true horror and torture inflicted upon the victims. The couple stored the remains in freezers and cement bags, waiting for the opportune moment to transport them to the lot without drawing attention. In a shocking revelation, it was uncovered that some of the victims' bones had been sold to practitioners of dark magic for use in rituals and ceremonies. Additionally, DNA belonging to several missing women from the area was linked to the crime scene. However, the task of identifying all the victims proved to be extremely challenging. Patricia and Juan Carlos did not possess detailed knowledge about all the women they had killed. Furthermore, the police investigation itself came under scrutiny from neighbors. In a news footage captured shortly after the couple's arrest, a reporter highlighted the lack of police presence at the crime scene, an empty lot where several remains were discovered. The absence of proper security compromised potential evidence that could aid in identifying the victims. The reporter also observed discarded women's clothing scattered around the lot, with no forensic teams collecting it. Residents of the same building where the couple resided had complained about a foul smell emanating from the drains of the upstairs apartment. However, no investigation was conducted to determine the source of the odor. It is highly plausible that the smell originated from the couple's attempt to clean up after their killing sprees, as previously mentioned. Ecatepec is known as one of the most dangerous municipalities in Mexico, particularly for women, and the presence of police cars on the streets is scarce, with only a few patrolling during the day and hardly any at night. This lack of surveillance allowed Juan Carlos and Patricia to dispose of human remains in vacant lots without attracting attention. The remains had remained undiscovered until the investigation commenced. Fortunately for the investigators, the couple confessed to their gruesome crimes, including murder, torture, and even selling the remains of their victims. Patricia admitted her involvement, acknowledging that Juan Carlos was the mastermind behind their operations. A psychological evaluation revealed that Patricia had a limited intelligence and likely participated in the crimes out of fear of rejection from her husband. While this doesn't excuse her actions, it sheds light on her motive. Juan Carlos, on the other hand, was diagnosed with a personality disorder and psychosis. He not only took pride in his deeds, but also expressed his desire to continue killing if given the opportunity. He mentioned his deep-seated hatred for women, stemming from childhood abuse inflicted by his mother and caregiver. He also cited the departure of his first wife as another reason for his intense animosity towards women. The true extent of Juan Carlos' victims remains unknown, but it's possible that the number exceeds 20. The couple's confession, along with the discovery of remains in their home, led to charges of murder, illegal handling of human remains, and illegal adoption in the case of the kidnapped baby. Some of the identified remains belonged to women who had disappeared several years prior. One grieving mother finally learned the fate of her daughter who had vanished in 2013 while the couple lived next door. Tragically, her daughter's body had been in an unnoticed state in an empty lot all those years. Patricia and Juan Carlos have been sentenced to life in prison, ensuring they will spend the remainder of their lives behind bars. However, their proud demeanor regarding their crimes and the lack of thorough police investigations over the years offer little solace to the families of the victims, leaving them with minimal closure. And that will wrap up this video, guys. I just want to mention real quick that I have a lot of new viewers, mainly coming from Disturbed Reality's channel, thanks to his little shout out. And I'm really grateful for that, and I'm excited to have a lot of new viewers. You guys leave very positive comments on my videos, good feedback, and make sure to give me some constructive criticism. What can I improve? Is the audio good? What do you think about the editing? I really appreciate that because I just want to improve my content and make you guys, want to watch. But just to sum up this video, remember that the victim's legacy is far more important to us than the perpetrators who committed this gruesome crime. But nonetheless, thank you for watching this episode of Horror Vault.